Hi all. As I mentioned in my previous video, it was the last game of the North Circular League last night, the official league games. I was playing against D.Sands, so we went away to Barking Chess Club. I've played David over several years ago in a junior tournament. We go back quite a long time. His ECF over the years has been a lot more solid than mine. He's often been over 200 in the last 10 or more years. Well, I've been always under 200. So I'm currently ECF 189 and he's over 200 at the moment. He's 202 and his FIDE is about 2250, so he's not that far off from being an FM. I remember one junior tournament I was in with him with the likes of Summerskull, Motazavi, Gary Quillen, Vukovic, and a couple of those. Motazavi became an IM, Summerskull became a GM. So we were like some of the promising juniors at the time to be in that tournament. But me and Dave never made it to become like even an FM, unfortunately. However, we still enjoy our rating level and playing casually. So anyway, I played knight f3, and it's a kind of psychological trick here to cloak my intentions and the style of the opening. And I've actually had good success with this early Reti move. Statistically, I've only played it a few times, and sometimes I've transposed into English, the English opening by playing c4 next, like against Dave Ledger in the South End last year. But in this game there was a different chameleon transposition. After c5 I decided to go into the Sicilian. I played e4, so we have now Sicilian defence by transposition. He played knight c6 and I thought I'd use bishop b5. It's like the anti-Sveshnikov system, which has grown and grown in popularity, and one of black's most common moves is g6, and I took here, which is a very popular idea, not even waiting for black to play a6, just taking on c6 immediately, doubling black's pawns. So you may wonder why white's giving up the two bishops and the light square bishops so willingly. I think there's interesting strategies behind it. I've had a look at a video by the Bad Bishops Company, and there was, I think, a video by Murray Chandler, and one of White's plans is basically not to quickly commit to casting kingside, but to play knight c3, d3, bishop e3 to target c5, then queen d2, see what happens with black's king's position, then either castle queenside or kingside. I had that in mind, but I forgot about a slight nuance that really I think White should play h3 here. I think that's theory, and so unfortunately I played knight c3, allowing bishop g4, and I think that was a bad mistake, because h3, although it seems a bit of a poxy move to play, it's actually very useful later. First of all, it hems in that bishop on c8. Second of all, if I later play d3, knight c3, bishop e3, and eventually, if I did decide to castle kingside, then the knight can come back to the h2 square. So I know this is ridiculous that you're vacating h2, but if you later play f4, then you're pressurizing e5 even more, and because you've chopped off black's knight on c6, there's more dark square pressure than usual, and then the knight can come back and add more pressure on e5. That's just one of the many plans in this system. But as well as the e5 square, c5 targeting later with d3 and bishop e3 is another strategy of this opening. So I should have really played h3, I think, here, and I let black play this move bishop g4, which isn't good now, because black's strategy is also, because he's captured away from the centre, he's trying to get a lot of pressure on d4, so it fits in with this plan of Finchesting the bishop, and bishop g4 fits in very well with weakening my control of d4 as well. So not only have I accelerated black's plan, I've damaged my potential plan of dark square pressure, as well as hemming in that light square bishop. So I was feeling maybe a little bit tired, to be honest, because I had done quite a lot of work on the Chess World site in the last few days, and I knew I'd slipped up. I had with me some juices though I got from the newsagent before the game, and I started sipping them. I was hoping I'd recover and get some energy during the game. I played d3, and after bishop g7 I played bishop e3. I don't think I've got much here. He plays b6, and really now, after queen d2, he was right to just take on f3, just simply doubling my pawns. So a lot of the tension's gone from the position. And not only that, I believe black has a strong positional plan here, which is a common manoeuvre for black in this system when black's captured away from the centre, which is basically knight f6 to d7 to f8 to e6 to d4. I know this seems particularly maybe outrageous and long-winded, but if black gets this in, the knight's pretty damn good on d4. He didn't do that. His knight ended up on the edge of the board, and they say a knight on the rim is dim. I think it was particularly dim because it also let me repair my pawn structure later this night when it went to h5, as we'll see. So he played knight f6, and I thought, well, if I'm going to get crunched positionally, then I might as well try and at least stir up some dynamic aspects of the position, or try and concern him with dynamic aspects of the position. So I played h4, because maybe, if I get in f4, castle queenside, maybe I can get some pressure. And I think he did get overly concerned by trying to blockade against h5. There was no problem. I asked him after, in post-mortem, why couldn't he just play knight d7 here with that positional plan? Because I don't think h5 is that dangerous. I think he could either continue with queen c7 here and castles queenside, or maybe even play knight f8. For example, like this. Is this really that bad for black? Just to carry on like this, queen d7. I'm not really threatening anything here. I don't think h6 is particularly great, locking that h file. According to Ribka, white's slightly better, but I think white's going to be increasingly worse from this position because of black's grip on the d4 square. For example, e5, say, I don't know, just castle queenside. Oh, okay, Ribka's got an idea here of playing h6, but now I don't see it. Knight e4, now it's becoming more equal, just 0.09. I think black will be absolutely fine getting this knight, eyeing this central important d4 square. So we'll go back. After h4, he seemed to get a little bit panicky. He first played queen c7, and I didn't want him casting queenside either. I wanted to try and discourage that. So I played another sort of dynamic, semi-threatening move, a4. And now he goes wrong. I believe he goes wrong. He plays knight h5, which, although actually Ribka's giving knight h5, as I say, I think the knight belongs to eyeing the d4 square. But he played knight h5, and I play f4. Maybe here is a key blunder then, which Ribka definitely doesn't like. Maybe, here, just e6 or a5. What he did do was play f5, and his knight really is dim, and now I can see the evaluation switching for white, and I believe in that evaluation, because after e5, what have I done? This knight can't come back that easily. My f4 is now not a problem. If bishop h6, so what? His queen's no longer attacking f4. But I thought, maybe he's got in mind a tactic here, that after castling, maybe he's going to play bishop takes e5 followed by f4. So what I did was just reinforce against this tactic. I played the move knight e2, and I was very pleased after I played it, because I noticed, now I've got a few opportunities on the horizon here. Either queen c3, maybe to c4 later, or just to keep an eye on c5 to make sure black never has b5. There's also knight g3 to try and undouble my pawns. And if I lift the blockade, then h5 will be a threat. So I was very pleased to find knight ce2. It seems my position from before, I don't have these positional concerns now about the d4 square. He plays rook ad8, so I play queen c3. And I think this is quite a typical move in this kind of system with black's double pawns. I've seen Adams, I think, beat Gelfand in one of the World Championship matches, I think at Las Vegas. Not Gelfand, well, someone with this system. Adams plays this Sveshnikov, and I've seen these like tricky like queen moves to c3.